From East Field, once again, we bring you Green Jackets football. Tonight's matchup, well, it's the Empire League Southern Division Championship game between your Glens Falls Greenjackets and the Orange County Bulldogs. This is the third matchup between the teams, with the Green Jackets taking both games previously. The first game 35-3 right here at East Field. Second game, of course, down in Orange County. A very close score, 14-7 in a Green Jacket comeback, trailing 7-0. They come back for the win. I expect a much closer game tonight, this evening, as we see the Green Jackets come back in action after a bye week, earning first-round bye in the playoffs by attaining the first-round bye by attaining a first-place position in the Southern Division. Orange County Bulldogs last week defeating the Scranton Eagles down in Orange County to earn the berth to be here tonight to face the Green Jackets once again. Once again, it should be a tough matchup tonight as we see Kevin Siska lead the offense after a week off. It'll be interesting to see how he brings the offense together after that week off, as we saw them down in Scranton and Lackawanna County Stadium. A little bit rusty was Kevin Siska after a 2-week layoff due to work obligations. So with the bye week here that we had last week, we'll see if the Green Jackets can get things rolling early in this game, as they should work to try to get on top early, take the Orange County Bulldogs out of it. Greetings from East Field. Once again, we bring you Green Jackets football. Tonight's matchup, well, it's the Empire League Southern Division Championship game between your Glens Falls Greenjackets and the Orange County Bulldogs. This is the third matchup between the teams, with the Green Jackets taking both games previously. The first game 35-3 right here at East Field. Second game, of course, down in Orange County. A very close score, 14-7 in a Green Jacket comeback, trailing 7-0. They come back for the win. I expect a much closer game tonight, this evening, as we see the Green Jackets come back in action after a bye week, earning first-round bye in the playoffs by attaining the first-round bye by attaining a first-place position in the Southern Division. Orange County Bulldogs last week defeating the Scranton Eagles down in Orange County to earn the berth to be here tonight to face the Green Jackets once again. Once again, it should be a tough matchup tonight as we see Kevin Siska lead the offense after a week off. It'll be interesting to see how he brings the offense together after that week off, as we saw them down in Scranton and Lackawanna County Stadium. A little bit rusty was Kevin Siska after a 2-week layoff due to work obligations. So with the bye week here that we had last week, we'll see if the Green Jackets can get things rolling early in this game, as they should work to try to get on top early, take the Orange County Bulldogs out of it. Now, typically in an Empire League football game matchup, when the team travels from afar, as the Bulldogs are traveling down from Monroe County, you'd have to say that they're at a disadvantage, but tonight they bring a full core of 35 players, as I counted them. The Green Jackets, of course, a full staff as well. The only omission in tonight's lineup is, I believe we have, there's one player that's out with a foot injury, I believe, and a couple other guys banged up. I believe A.Z. Longmire has some turf toe, and a couple other guys nicked and bruised. But in a championship game, little things like that really don't matter. So we've got a pretty healthy lineup for the Green Jackets. The Bulldogs look very healthy. They're eager to get this game going. They want to make amends to the last two meetings, so I expect a very close ball game. If I were a betting man and I were laying odds on this game, I would say that the Green Jackets may be a 7-point favorite. I would say maybe 10, but that could very well go the other way, so this should be a very good matchup this evening. While I have a chance here before the opening kickoff and before the national anthem, I'd like to mention our sponsors for this evening's game. The wide receivers and tight ends, once again, are sponsored by McCann's Pharmacy, your hometown full-service pharmacy, on the park in Hudson Falls, free delivery 7 days a week. The quarterback position, sponsored by the Post-Star, reaching 100,000 readers every day, from the Capital District to the Adirondacks. The linebackers tonight, sponsored by St. Ann Transportation in Fort Ann, serving you with interstate transportation coast to coast, 747-7158. All footballs for home games and all kickoffs, punts, and point-after touchdowns are sponsored by the Pro and Mo Sports Shop, your preferred supplier of awards, plaques, and trophies for 27 years. They're located at 151 Broadway in Fort Edward. The running backs, Sponsored by Luis's Italian Bistro. Homemade Italian favorites. Great food, great prices. South Glens Falls, 745-5055. And the offensive line, sponsored by the UPS store. Mailboxes, etc. is now the UPS store for all your copying and shipping needs. They're located in Hannaford Plaza on Broad Street in Glens Falls. Also like to mention that tonight's game is YMCA Appreciation Game. It's a YMCA Appreciation Night. In honor of the Glens Falls YMCA, there is a major expansion in the physical facilities and programs at the Y in Glens Falls to support your YMCA. In addition, tonight we also have some very special guests here present, and those are the Empire League Green Jacket Championship teams, members of the 1969 squad and the 1976 squad, and I believe we'll hear more about them and learn more about both of those teams and the history of them and what they've accomplished at the halftime celebration or festivities that we have going on tonight as we see the captains come to the center of the field and exchange, pleasantries. And I'm sure they're going to be strapping it up here, and it won't be so pleasant after that, but they exchange pleasantries right now, and that's one of the nice things about the Empire Football League. Is before the whistle, guys are friends, and they all get along. Most of them know each other outside of the game, but when the whistle blows, boy, everybody wants to knock everybody's block off, and that's how it should be in football. And then after the game, they all go out, and they may go out and have a pizza or have a drink together, and that's nice to see as we await the referee with the coin toss here to see who is going to kick off and receive here in this game. I'd also like to mention, too, that tonight's game is sponsored by Boston Scientific, one of the area's finest manufacturers of medical devices. We, the YMCA and Green Jackets, greatly appreciate the corporate support of Boston Scientific, and we'd like to thank them very much. And also, on TV8 WNCE, watch for Green Jackets Huddle on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday evenings. You'll see game highlights, meet coaches and players, get an up-to-date report on standings in the Empire Football League, and learn a little bit about the 75-year history of the Green Jackets. It's 3 times a week, and it's only on Channel 8 WNCE as we see the referee signal that the Green Jackets will be receiving the opening kickoff, as we see both of the sides of the captains take their respective sides of the field and gather their teams together for this opening kickoff. Well, my compatriot up here, or my other half here, Bill Callahan, is making his way up the stairs here, I see, and he'll be joining us here in the booth just momentarily, so we'll pick up our normal duties as Bill, the play-by-play man and Empire Football League Hall of Famer, will take his typical duties, and I will take my duties as the color for tonight's contest. Well, what can we say about the matchup tonight as far as keys to victory? Well, with both of these teams, and I would say they're very evenly matched, and tonight I think we'll see that, is turnovers once again is going to play a critical factor in this game. When you've got evenly matched teams, typically you can throw all other factors and stats out the window and just look at the giveaway takeaway stat at the end of a ball game, and whoever's in the positive typically is the winner in an evenly matched game. I would expect to see that also tonight, although the Green Jackets did overcome turnovers in the last contest down in Orange County against the Bulldogs and were able to earn the victory. But typically the giveaway takeaway column usually dictates who wins the football game. What I'm interested in seeing tonight is how well the offensive unit of the Green Jackets pulls it together and shows us the kind of offensive explosion that we've seen in previous Green Jacket games. The layoffs, they've had quite a few layoffs recently, and then a bye game, and then filling in admirably with Mo James and at the quarterback position along with Chris Glover in a victory where Kevin Sisko was unable to attend due to work obligations. But with Kevin Sisko at the helm a couple weeks ago, they were just a little bit rusty. Kevin was a little bit rusty. They weren't in sync, so it'll be interesting tonight to see how quickly they can get into sync because they don't have that kind of time against a strong Orange County Bulldog team to pull that together. And I've got a man standing here beside me just waiting to sound off, so let's turn it over to Mr. Bill Callahan.
Hey, how you doing, Chris?
I'm doing the face.
I was listening to the analysis. Perfect, man. I'll tell you, I got here at 5 o'clock. Orange County team was already here. Okay, it shows the intensity level. Number 2, Mark Acure, former head coach of the Scranton Eagles and a member of this class incoming of the AFA Hall of Fame as a D-back, has joined the staff of the Orange County team as an assistant coach. He brings with him a depth of experience and an organizational ability that is going to be a big help to Coach Norman Mann. So that's another factor that we have here today that we did not have in play and in previous games. And I'm just looking at this Orange County team. They're here early. They're here in better numbers than they were last week. They are very quiet and intense, and all those factors that you covered in your game means that this is going to be a very close football game.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And one thing you can always say is, well, there's home field advantage. Well, in a game like this tonight, a championship game, you can throw that right out the window. First of all, they've traveled with a complete staff and a roster of players, as you can see on the screen there. So, and the crowd, although they may make some noise for the Green Jackets, that's going to be a non-factor. So home field advantage, you can chuck that right out the window. It's just a game on a beautiful evening, a perfect night for football, and they're both teams are going to bring everything that they could possibly bring to the table and leave nothing on the field afterwards. They're going to bring it here tonight, and there's going to be some serious hits and some serious action going on here, and I can't wait for the kickoff.
A couple other things, and I don't know if you've covered it because I didn't hear all your remarks. I was running across the field, but basically the return of number 27, Mike Randall, for the roster is very good, and especially in the utility man's role. Mike can play almost any position, and I think over the course of a long game, Mike will play a major factor. Dan McGovern with the team here. Dan, as we all recall, in the championship game last year, scored the Green Jackets' big touchdown with the opening kickoff. I think he's going to play a role, especially in special teams, but also adds another depth to the team. And the return on the sidelines, at least, of number 11, Tony T-Bone Green. He is an emotional spark plug to this team. And him being here is just a moral boost for the team. And if the team gets behind it all, I think Tony on the sideline is going to be a big help in keeping everybody's head on.
Oh, I agree. And of course, Tony, assuming the Green Jackets make it on to next week to the championship game, we will see him in action. Mike Randall, yeah, he's a key addition. He's been around the Green Jackets for a few years now and always been one of the leaders of the team. So he brings a spark back to the team. You mentioned Dan McGovern. That goes without saying. He's a great addition. He would have been a bigger addition had it not been work obligations this season. So to have him back tonight and actually playing a bigger factor, I think, tonight is going to be a big key for them. So everybody, aside from one player that's injured, and now I remember who it is, I think Mitch Morgan is out tonight with a high ankle sprain that unfortunately happened in practice of all places. That's the worst thing that could happen coming into a game like this, is to injure yourself in practice. So I feel for you, Mitch, and I'm sorry to hear that you're on the sidelines. But other than that, emotionally, physically, aside from a few nicks and bruises that would happen at this time of a season, the Green Jackets are ready to go. So there's really nothing there. There's no excuses that can be made. Everybody's ready to go on both sides of the field, and this is just going to be one great football game.
Fantastic game. Although listed as the last official home game of the season, the Green Jackets, if they happen to pull this one off and go to the championship game, will definitely play in the Nationals, win or lose in the championship game, which means there's a good probability there'll be at least one home game in the Nationals back here at East Field. But we'll be saluting the 1976 and 1969 championship teams this game, and we're going to have special halftime festivities that will be included in our halftime report. And also, it's YMCA Appreciation Night. Chuck Mays is here, and we thank the Y for their support, as well as Boston Scientific, my company. And I have a funny story to tell you during the game, during a low point, if there is any, about Boston Scientific. But Boston Scientific, a major sponsor of tonight's game. So we want to mention those folks up front early. The attendance looks like it's going to be very decent tonight. Now we take a look at our sponsors, and that's important as well. These folks have made these broadcasts going for a long time. Oh, did you? Okay, that's what I want to make sure. Yeah, I see. See, you took care of everything here. So great opportunity to thank Pro and Mo, Punk and Mo at the Pro and Mo Sports Shop for being responsible for all the footballs for the home games this week and this year. Luisa's Italian Bistro, which I went by 3 times thinking of Italian food. They're in South Glens Falls, and we're getting ready as the color guard is marching out onto the field, and as the players are going to the sidelines and taking their helmets off, we're going to have our national anthem here in just a moment. And finally, I want to thank, as well as mailboxes, etc., is now the UPS store, which is located on Broad Street in the Hannaford Plaza, for all your special office needs in this world of the home office. They are an integral part of America's business. The color guard's coming on the field right now, and we're just about ready to go with our national anthem. Boy, beautiful night, Chris, for a football game.
Yeah, I didn't even mention that, and I'm standing here thinking, you couldn't ask for better weather. I mean, this is the best weather we could have.
George Fordrung, stadium announcer, making the announcement, and we are ready to go. job a cappella of our national anthem. Great styling. I absolutely love it. I have an opportunity here just very quickly to run down the starting lineup of the Orange County Bulldogs team. A couple of changes, too, in the roster we should make a note of. The quarterback, John Fuentes, but he's wearing number 1, not number 8. Carlos Martin wearing number 6 wide receiver, and Jovan Garcia, number 5 wide receiver. We're going to be seeing them quite a bit. Nicky Patterson, number 3, will be in that running back, primarily fullback later in the game, but you'll also see him kicking. Ray Morales, running back, and Craig Davis, fullback. Boy, they got a lot of great backs in that team, and they brought the whole load with them tonight. Ron Allendogan, offensive line. Rich Petty, 59, offensive line. Chris Howell, Dibin Enoch, Joso Soto, and Daryl Jackson at tight end, rounding off the offensive starting lineup for the Orange County Bulldogs. Interesting that this team is so deep. This team on any given Saturday night can beat any team in this level of football. If they come and bring their A game, and if the Green Jackets let up for just a moment, they could walk away with this game. They are the defending champions.
Oh, yeah, it's a very even matchup tonight. And you mentioned all the great players that the Orange County Bulldogs have. And then you mentioned Fuentes, John Fuentes being the quarterback tonight, and he was the one who filled in for Ryan Osborne, who was injured in the second half of the last meeting between the two down in Monroe. So Fuentes did a very good job then. And in the receiving corps, you've got Jovan Garcia and Carlos Martin. And then those two guys are little guys that are very quick. They aren't your deep threats, because your deep threat is Curtis Cooper, who we saw burn the Jackets early in the last game to give them a 7-0 lead. So he's going to be the deep threat tonight, Curtis Cooper, as we'll see if Fuentes can get the time to get it to him. But those little guys, Jovan Garcia and Carlos Martin, they can kill you all night long underneath. You've got to be able to wrap those guys up, because they've got the kind of receivers that can get the yards after the catch. So the Jackets have to keep everything right there tight in front of them and wrap those guys up when they do make the catch and not let them get those extra yards. And that's what we're going to have to see if that's going to happen tonight. But, yeah, it's a very evenly matched game. And then you mentioned as far as being a home game for the Jackets, and the Orange County Bulldogs are traveling and they're fired up. If there's pressure on anybody tonight, it's not on the Bulldogs. It's squarely on the Green Jackets' shoulder. The Jackets know that they are their favorite coming in here. They should win this game. They won the last 2 games. And they've got this vision of a larger prize here that they're definitely worthy of, and they can't afford to let something like this trip them up, because it would be so devastating for them, and it would feel like, I hate to say it, a failure of a season for them if they lost tonight.
Totally agreed. This one's taken at the 32-yard line. He's across the 40, looking for the 45, brought down at the 43. First and 10, Green Jackets on a short kick from Patterson, and carrying that one, and I think kind of surprised carrying that one, number 80, Chris Glover.
Yeah, that's the kind of field position you want to have to start off the game at the 42-yard line. Not a great kickoff there. And kicking that ball off, if I'm not mistaken, was number 86. Am I not right? I think that's Mitchke, who's August Mitchke, who's a tight end. And I know that Jerry Romano is the kicker, so I have not seen him out there unless I was mistaken. But I think August Mitchke was the one who kicked that ball off.
Yeah, we're just having a little technical here as we go first and 10. The Green Jackets, Siska from the shotgun. Let's see what they do out of the gate. Carrying the football, not much of a big game, but number 22, Sakima Grimes, gets the first carry.
Well, I was curious to see what kind of offense that, Tom Marin is chameleon-style offense. That's my own personal thing.
I like that. That's a great
chameleon-style offense of what he was going to come out with right off the bat. And we've seen him come out with a shotgun with a single back set. They didn't give a quick inside give to, who was that back there? Was that Wyatt with the ball?
Grimes carried the ball.
With that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Sakima had the ball on that one. So a little bit of a surprise there to see them come up with that right off the bat, as we see him from the shotgun with no one behind him now.
Yeah, and this time, Danny McGovern comes in. Sakima comes out. Again, the shotgun. Siska back. He's being rushed. It gets tipped. Incomplete pass, and he goes down as well. So it's all of a sudden, very quickly, 3rd down and about 8 yards to go for the Green Jackets.
Well, Tim Bolt, the linebacker, was the one who put the hit on Siska there, but you could have credited 3 other guys there. I think they were content to let them go through with some type of screen or a short pass there, and they just got their hands up, which every lineman and linebacker in a blitz is taught to do. And many times you knock the ball down, which is exactly what they did, and now brings up a 3rd and long.
3rd and long is right. We're definitely going to be seeing some passing here. Gabe Young and Glover are wide right. Wide left over there looks like Danny Chandler, and looks like Larry Alberts as well, wearing number 14. In the backfield, McGovern. Siska from the shotgun. 3rd down and 8. Siska back. Siska's under pressure. He dumps it off to McGovern. McGovern across the 50, the 40. McGovern's motoring, one man to beat. Dan McGovern in. Touchdown, Green Jackets! I love it!
Wow.
Woo! Oh, man. When you score a touchdown like that, it's so exciting. I don't care which team scored it. And number two, when you do it against such a great opponent like Orange County, it makes it even more amazing. Can he run or can he run?
He's doing exactly what Dan McGovern did when he was a full-time player with the Jackets last year. And, I didn't even have a chance to say it'd be interesting to see how he fits in here coming in so late with the Jackets and having him already put a little wrinkle in there by playing him in the backfield like that. Well, I didn't even get a chance to ask the question that got answered right away. I guess it's not that big of a difference. Not a lot of adjusting going on, and McGovern just blew him away there.
Chandler to hold, Bagstad to kick. We hear Bagstad will be doing all the kicking tonight as he kicks down, up and looks good to me. Ooh, boy, did he put a boot in that. Into the front lawn next door. 7-0 Green Jackets. What a nice start, and reminiscent in some ways of last year's championship game.
Yeah.
McGovern with the touchdown. Of course, that was from a kickoff. But from that point, it was all downhill from the Green Jackets. I don't think it's going to be that way tonight.
Well, I wouldn't think so. I think it's going to be a much different ball game, but exactly what the Jackets wanted to do. I know they wanted to strike blood first and be the first one to score and try to take the Bulldogs right out of the game as fast as they can. And that's exactly what they did there as we see Vinny Cione come in for the kickoff. And every extra point tonight is going to be critical, too, because we just don't know what kind of score we're going to have. So that extra point was very critical also. But we're going to have Vinny with the kickoff here, and we'll see what kind of coverage that they can have here. Okay, he's moving up to get the kick there. He's putting it up on the 25. And I know Vinny can boot the ball a long way, but he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to try to boot it from the 25.
We don't kick with handicaps here, do we? There we go. Special teams are in there. Green Jackets take pride in their special teams. Coach Mayer working very hard, making sure the assignments were clear prior to game time tonight. Then he's ready to kick off. Of course, you can see Rudy Jason Johnson wide to our right here. Way over to the left there, of course, Larry Alberts and many more great Green Jackets in between. Here we go. 13:30 on the clock. First quarter action. 7-0 Jackets. Vinny boots it. A nice one. Picked up on the fly at the 15, 20, 25. Going across the 30. Still looking for room on the outside. Brought out of bounds. No. Cuts back in. Nice spin move. Double spin move across the 40. Oh, this is going to be a great run. All the way down. Pitched out. And then we're down to about the 37, 38-yard line. First and 10, Orange County. See markers on the field, but no flags. So, boy, that's a nice way to do it.
Well, and that's that little guy at the receiver position, Javon Garcia, doing his thing on the return, and that's why you have to wrap him up, as you can see right there. He's very, very elusive laterally, and, you just get a hand on him, and the next thing you know, he pinballs off the other direction. So you really got to wrap him up and put him to the ground. He had a great return there and puts him in great field position to start their first series of the ball.
And a perfect example as to why, when the Green Jackets found out they were moving to the Southern Division, there was a lot of groans. This Orange County team is an awesome football team. To beat them twice in a year, unbelievable. To beat them 3 times, wow, that's a lot of work. Here we go. This time wearing number 1, John Fuentes is the quarterback. We got a man in motion. Fuentes with a long count. First and 10, Orange County, keeping it on the ground. Oh, he's nailed. Oh, nailed. And boy, oh boy, I tell you, is that loose? And it is the Green Jackets, and they're making it official, and that is a gigantic turnover. In a game like this, Chris, turnovers can't happen.
Turnovers are huge, and as we saw, I believe it was that Damon Walker.
Damon Walker, yep.
And he practically took the handoff from Fuentes, and he disrupted everything right there and knocked the ball up in the air. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the game, giveaway takeaways are going to be so critical in this game. The Jackets are up 1 in the giveaway takeaways, and I think they'll make something happen out of this. If it continues like that, it's going to be a runaway.
Yeah, definitely. And Fuentes, who's played quarterback, but one of 6 people to actually really play legitimate time at quarterback for Orange County this year. And I think that is a big difference because other than 2 games for which our quarterback could not make due to very important personal reasons, where we had 2 very good subs in Tony Green and Mo James, we've had 1 quarterback for 2 years, and that does make a difference in an offense. As Whitey Siska takes it from the shotgun. He's under pressure, but he throws up the middle, ball tapped in the air and picked off. And unfortunately, that's going to go down as a turnover. Unfortunately for the quarterback, it shows up as an INT. Unfortunately, it had nothing really to do with his pass.
Well, that's the linebacker, Tim Bolt, there with the interception. And just like that, well, the giveaway takeaways are back to 0. But that was a good quick pass by Siska on a quick slant to Glover. Glover just didn't haul it in. He let it bounce off his shoulder pads as he was basically hit as he was trying to make the catch. And just an unfortunate play there, and basically the last 2 plays didn't even exist, except we just backed Orange County up for the starting series about 10 yards.
Okay, here we go. Ball right now positioned at the 48-yard line. Fuentes wearing number 1, starting quarterback for the Bulldogs. Quick one, taken off right guard. Gain of about 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8, 2nd down and 7.
And Sportman and Walker there wrapping him up, but yeah, we're going to see the pit bull style defense of the Green Jackets doing exactly what they've done all season, and we're going to see them not hold back on anything. And as we see AZ Longmire coming off, I mentioned it before the game that he was suffering from some turf toe, and I think that's really starting to bother him. But we're going to see Damon with a lot of blitzes from his safety position, and we're going to see the linebackers shooting up in there and doing some blitzing too, and just trying to wreak havoc there on the offensive unit of the Bulldogs.
Look out for Collis Martin. He's lined up wide left, a great receiver for the Bulldogs. Fuentes long count. Nope, he's pitching out this time. Number 30's looking right. He's gaining across the 40-yard line. Nice gain by number 30, Ray Morales. 6 feet, 215 pounds, great running back.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they tried to do before. And anytime they've had success has been around the end on the Green Jackets. And we mentioned that before. They tried the middle to really no avail so far. And I think they're going to rely on stuff like quick pitches, maybe some screen passes and quick pitches to the receivers to try to get that ball out there where they can find a little room to run with it.
You're just tuning in, 11 minutes, 7 seconds to go. First quarter action, Southern Division Championship game from football heaven, Eastfield, Glens Falls, New York. And right now the Green Jackets with a 7-0 lead, but the Orange County Bulldogs from Monroe, New York, looking pretty good on this series. They've got the ball at the 40-yard line of the Green Jackets. Fuentes remains under center. Number 30 again. Morales still running. First down and more. He's down to inside the 35-yard line. Bulldogs moving the football.
Morales isn't a small guy. He's 6 foot 215, so he can run hard. But in that case, I think he wanted to go up inside a little bit and saw nothing was happening there, so he bounced it out around the end and was able to gain a first down. And once again, the Green Jackets really have that middle pretty well clogged up there. So the Bulldogs are going to try to do things and work around the outside, although that was designed to go in just off the off tackle or off guard. Excuse me.
Green Jackets went 8-0 in the regular season. Orange County went 6-2. Their only 2 losses, believe it or not, to the Green Jackets. Fuentes. He makes a correction, points something out to his backfield. He's ready to go. Look out for Damon Walker, who runs up to the line. We got some more pressure. Tipped, incomplete. All of a sudden, we've got ourselves a quick 2nd down situation for the Bulldogs.
Fuentes under a little pressure there from John Rowan. Threw that ball a little quicker than he wanted to, and just overthrew his tight end, Darrell Jackson, just by a little bit there.
There wasn't a lot of smiling in the locker rooms of either team here tonight. Both sides very revved up and intense for this game. They're taking it very seriously. Nobody's looking ahead on this one. It'll be interesting to see if anybody was looking ahead up the road in Watertown as the Lake City Stars go into town as the underdog against the favored red and black at home. There could be an upset up there. That Lake City team has been a big surprise this year. And, of course, Watertown looking very sharp, too. But we're back at this one. 2nd down and 10 for the Bulldogs. They're behind by 7. Fuentes has got time. He throws that in the air. He's got his man inside the 20, down to the 16. Looks like Collis Martin.
Yeah, that is Collis Martin. It was a good job of protection on Fuentes as Damon Walker tried to get in there on the blitz. Kind of got jammed up, then tried to bounce back into coverage, but Fuentes was able to find the time and hit Martin there on that deep slant and gained another first down. So they are moving the ball, Bill.
Yeah, they sure are. A little change here in defense for the Green Jackets as number 7, Mo James, comes out. Number 58, AZ Longmire, comes in. 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Clock continues to run. Green Jackets defense has been awesome with the exception of 2 games. Non-league against Springfield where they gave up 21, and 2 weeks ago in Scranton where they gave up 20 even though they won the game. They want to shut this team out, and they're keeping it up the middle down to the 10-yard line this time. Carrying the ball. Was that Morales again? Not sure. I've got to see if he comes off the pile here. Got to take a look at the monitor over there.
No, it's
20-something.
29, I believe.
Okay.
That's
So it's Ridley.
Yeah.
Okay.
He saw limited action last game down in Orange County, more towards the latter part of the game.
The press clippings have said he's come on very strong in the second half of the year for Orange County. They've had a huge roster of guys in and out all season long. A lot of talent on this team with good coaching. 2nd down and 5 for the Bulldogs. And they're, again, keeping it on the ground, and it's working. He's got room. He's looking left. He's in. Yeah, touchdown. Boy, that's a big one right there for Orange County. Not only do they score, but they do it on a pretty decent drive, well-managed drive.
Yeah, no, that was a good drive for the Bulldogs there, as we saw Ridley bounce it off. Once again, it was designed to go more up the middle, and he bounced it off tackle there and was able to turn the corner and get outside. And he's a good running back. He ran inside there and was able to gain 5 or 6 yards, and then that time he's able to bounce around the outside and show his speed and get it in for the touchdown. But he's not a small guy either. He's listed at 6'1" and 230. So he's multi-dimensional. He's able to run up inside, and he's able to turn the corner and get around the outside. So they're going to have to keep an eye on him tonight.
No question about it. The talent of Orange County showing on this drive. Orange County's going to go for 2, try to take the lead. They're down 7-6 with 8:21 remaining. Going for the 2-point conversion if you're just tuning in on a beautiful night for football here at East Field. Number 3. And that, of course, Nick Patterson. And he is short, which is good. So the Green Jackets keep the lead, 7-6 here.
Right, and that's important that they were able to stop him there for 7-6, although it's early in the game. But what's really important is I think I'm seeing something here, and maybe we can confirm it later on, but we saw August Mitchell do the kickoff, right? And then we saw nobody there in for an extra point there. I do not believe that Jared Romano was here tonight, so I think that the Bulldogs are without a kicker.
Which is going to take its toll. I can remember a Green Jackets game up in Watertown a couple of years ago where our kickers could not make the game. And we really suffered on kickoffs because the kickoffs allowed the opposing team great field position, and we had to go for 2 points in almost every situation, and at best you're going to come up at about 50% there at best in a good night. And we walked away with a 4-point loss, and if we had you, it was a year before you came along, my friend, but if we had you, we would have walked away with a very important win on the road. So kicking, everything else being equal, can make a huge difference.
And there you had it. And coaches always say that there's 3 facets to a football team, and there's offense, defense, and special teams. And the good coaches realize that third one, special teams, isn't last on the list or just a secondary thought. It's very critical and important. And in evenly matched teams, it's a deciding factor. And tonight it could very well be a deciding factor, like you mentioned in Watertown, how it was.
Here we go. Deep for the Green Jackets. Number 44, Dan McGovern. Number 17, Dan Chandler. The 2 Dans back. Will one of them get it? It looks like Mr. McGovern's got it. He's across the 25, 30, 35. He keeps his balance. What a runner. He's across the 45-yard line. Thought he was going to lose his footing there once. Did not do it. He's a great athlete. Ball's placed at the 46, 1st and 10, Green Jackets.
Well, the first possession the Jackets had, they started at the 42-yard line. This one, they're starting at their own 40, what are they going to mark it out here, the 45-yard line. So, you're going to talk about all night long about a team that's got 6. Green Jackets are going to be playing on maybe a 60-yard field, a 50-yard field, and the Bulldogs are going to be playing on a 60, 70, maybe 80-yard field. So right there, you've got a disadvantage for the Bulldogs, and we haven't even talked about the punting game. So special teams definitely critical and a key.
Larry Alberts and, of course, Gabe Young, wide right with Dan Glover, and going wide left, we've got Mr. Chandler. So we've got 4 guys going out. Let's see what happens here. Quick one to Chandler. He looks, he spins around to try to get it. He just wasn't in position to bring that one down. Kind of trying to do a backwards catch there, incomplete.
Well, they could have had him, too, there because Marvin Morgan for the Bulldogs had no idea the ball was coming his direction, and it was just behind Dan Chandler, and he was unable to pull it in. But Morgan's got to get his head turned around there, read the receiver's eyes, and look for that football, because if he keeps doing that all night, Jackets are going to burn him all night long.
I want to thank the Chuck Mays and the Y for their fan appreciation, YMCA Appreciation Night. We want to thank my employer, Boston Scientific, for coming up with some sponsorship for tonight's game. And they go along with all our other fine sponsors, as it looks like Chandler went offsides, and they're going to bring it back. Illegal procedure, 5 yards against the Jackets. And, of course, we want to thank our other sponsors as well, who have been with us all year long, including Punk and Mo at the Pro and Mo Sports Shop over on Broadway in Fort Edward for their great support. If you need awards, whether it be sports or corporate, or anything for bowling, go see Punk and Mo. As well as Luis's Italian Bistro in South Glens Falls, right along the main drag there. Can't wait to get my foot in there. And the offensive line sponsored by the UPS store located on Broad Street in the Hannaford Plaza. And I left no room for you, partner. My apologies.
I'll get my end. Don't you worry about it.
You betcha. There we go. Siska under center this time. 2nd down for the Green Jackets. Ball right now back at the 40-yard lines after the penalty. 15 yards to go. He keeps it. Then he pitches it out. And that one is loose. And I believe, yes, it is Orange County. Unfortunately, when you pitch the ball out, that is a delicate play. That is a delicate play to pull off, especially for somebody who has not had the opportunity to practice the timing.
Well, now I can mention it. Are we going to see any kind of rust or anything, any kind of little, out of sync, between the offensive unit there with Chandler, with McGovern in there, and maybe and that was probably one indication right there on a pitch, because the relationship actually wasn't that bad. It was a little bit behind McGovern, but he hasn't been handling pitches all season. He's been handling keyboards and computers. So this is, he's had a week of practice here, so he's a little bit rusty.
So he's got to be disappointed with that, but we do have 7 points on the board because of Mr. McGovern. So the ball right now in great field position as Fuentes comes on with the offense for the Orange County Bulldogs. 7-6 the score. The Green Jackets have the lead. 7:13. Clock is ticking. Fuentes, hands off, going up the middle and right. Looks like 30. Having trouble with that number, definitely. Gain of about 1.5 or 2 yards as they pull him up. No, it's, let's see.
So that's Matt Holmes.
Yeah, that's Matty Holmes. Okay. I thought it was a 30. It's a 20. Boy, I tell you, we're talking all-star runners.
I'll tell you what, from where we are, and you're right, it's hard to see. A 20 and a 30 look awfully darn close. The only way I really tell them apart is about 3 inches difference between the two.
Yeah.
I see Holmes out there. He goes about, I think he's listed at 5'8", and he is 5'8", 212. And once again, Morales was listed at 6 feet and 215. So that's the only way I can tell them apart sometimes.
Well, if you have followed the Empire Football League for the last 5 or 6 years, this appears to be an all-star game that includes Binghamton, the old Connecticut franchise, Kingston, Orange County, and there's even a few Scranton players here. This is a great football team. Orange County, Monroe, New York, and they're trying to get back in this game. Pass incomplete, going to number 6, and that, of course, is Hollis Martin.
And you're mentioning about the all-star, basically an all-star type of lineup from the Bulldogs. And then we talked about it last week, and it's very arguably the best Green Jacket team. And we went back and forth over that, and we don't want to pin them down and say it is the best, but you're talking about an outstanding football team against almost an all-star team. So what you're talking about is just an outstanding football right here in Glens Falls.
Yes.
And if you're watching it at home and you've never been to one of these games, there's a lot of people here sitting in the stands, and there's a lot of activities and fun things to do here at one of these games. It's about half the price of a movie now. So,
yes.
If you miss it this season, you've got to come out here next season because you won't be disappointed.
Easy to get to, free parking as Hollis Martin goes in motion. Fuentes with a long count under center. He's looking to pass. Get some good coverage there. No, he's got some pressure. He dumps it off. Incomplete. Great coverage. Great pursuit there. Who is that, Kenny Hackett?
Anthony Vignola.
Vignola, okay.
Vignola on that one, and he had to throw that ball out off just to get it away. And we're going to see our first punt of the ball game now.
Yeah.
But the Green Jacket defense did their job. And now we can see McGovern back here on the return end of things because he's very good at that as well. And see if he can make amends for his fumble there, which actually didn't harm them at all.
Vignola, too, I've got to credit. Not only did he pursue well, but he kept his position in his line of attack great there, which really forced the pass and forced it to be incomplete. Here we go. Let's see what the Green Jackets can do with this punt. Here we go. Good snap. Kicks up. Almost blocked. McGovern's going to take this at the 10. He almost slips. Gets on his feet at the 15. He pounds his way through the 20, out to the 22. 1st and 10, and we have flags back here, and I don't like the looks of this.
Well, we've got him back here, and Kenny Hackett's involved with Mitchke, who punted the ball, and I don't know who did who to, what to who, but could be going both ways and just be nothing. But I wasn't able to see it. They were already walking their separate ways after I saw the flags go down, so we will see here after the referee sorts this out.
I think we're going to see... I'm worried about the fact that it could be a roughing the kicker, but I'm not sure.
Well, it came awfully late, and
yeah,
so that's why I'm assuming it probably wasn't bad. I saw him get the punt off, and then you and I both were watching it go to Chandler, so... Although they are waving it back.
They are. They are definitely waving it back, and they were talking to the Green Jackets. Which
but I...
Ooh.
So that punt never even happened. It was a delay of game, so they're going to back him up 5 and do it again.
Well, that's a very important penalty. That's a dumb penalty. Penalty that the coaches go, I hate that.
Well, Chandler fielded that punt inside the 10, and they always say if you're a return man, don't field it if the ball's inside the 10.
Yeah.
Let it go. But I was out in the field this evening, and we never mentioned the conditions. That field's awfully soft and muddy, so that ball would probably have just died.
Oh, that's a beautiful kick. Great hang time. McGovern's looking. He's back at the 15, and he's letting it go out of bounds. And that was a good call because the tremendous hang time up there allowed the coverage team to get down very quickly.
That certainly didn't take a Bulldog bounce because that could have very easily rolled down and died within the 5-yard line and really pinned the Green Jackets back deep, but it actually took a Green Jacket bounce and went out at about the 15 or 16-yard line. which was probably the best thing for the Bulldogs to keep the ball out of Dan McGovern's hands.
So here we go. Ball right now positioned at about the 17 and a half yard line. First and 10 Green Jackets. 5:37 remaining first quarter. 7-6 to score. The game so far just as built. Too close to call. Two great teams in their prime right now, battling it out to go to the final level of play in the Empire Football League. The championship game next week either in Plattsburgh or in Watertown. Whitey Siska, handoff, up the middle, looks like Grimes, doesn't get too far. Wow, I'll tell you, this is going to be a duel. And it was a big play by the Green Jackets, McGovern, versus a solid half of the field drive by Orange County that have put the scores here. That's been it.
And the Jackets look like they're going to try to start getting a running game going here a little bit. They're pretty much relying upon the pass to begin the game. And now they're going to try to establish that run game. And once they do that, then they can do some play action and a few other things off of that and really keep the Bulldogs guessing. But you saw Grimes go right up the middle there as we see them once again in a two-back set with Sylvester back there and Grimes behind it.
Let's see what Whitey does this time. Here we go. Again, the ball's loose, ladies and gentlemen. The ball is loose, and it's turned over. And this is the third turnover by the Green Jackets and the fourth turnover we have seen, and it's only the first quarter. Very unusual in this type of game.
Well, it's extremely unusual, and I'm trying to make something out here to see exactly why this is happening. And first of all, the ball's not wet out there. It's really not that damp on the field. And I'm trying to see who's at the center position, because unless there's a new center out there, there really is no excuse for this to be happening with the Jackets, other than the fact that you can say they're a little rusty.
Yep.
And the fact that this is such a big game, maybe there's a little bit of nerves out there, and that's why that fumble happened. But once again, now we've got the Jackets pinned deep and relying on the defense, and the Bulldogs are in the positive in the giveaway takeaways.
They sure are, and they're inside the 20-yard line right now. First and 10. Fuentes wearing number 1. John Fuentes is the quarterback. Hey, late handoff to Morales. He's still spinning around, but they say he was down when he was down on one knee and touched. So that'll bring it back, and it'll be a slight loss against Orange County.
And I think that was Goslin. Was that number 66 out there?
Yep. It looks like Goslin, and Kenny was involved in there as well, Kenny Hackett.
Wait, Goslin's on the O-line.
No,
I don't think it was. Was it? I'm really having a hard time making the numbers out, and I don't know why. Maybe I have to get some glasses.
Yeah, I got a good referral for you. Go see my man. There we go. Second down and about 12, 13 yards to go for Orange County. Kind of a funny game so far. And again, number 30, Morales running with the football. He goes right, almost back out to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be third down and about 10 yards to go for Orange County.
Well, you saw Morales slip on that last play as he was kind of just had his feet taken out from him a little bit. And then his cuts don't look as sharp as I think they would be. And I mentioned that between the hash marks, it's not muddy, but it's very soft, and there isn't a heck of a lot of grass out there anymore. So depending upon what kind of shoes that these guys have on, it's either very slippery or the guys have picked the right mix of cleats out there. It's fine for them, but you saw Morales slip, so I don't think he has quite the right shoes on for this condition.
7-6 to score. Orange County with the ball. They're down by 1. 2:44 remaining first quarter. Bill Callahan and Chris Drennan. Football Heaven, Eastfield, Glens Falls, New York. And right now, Fuentes is being brought down. Nice job there.
John Rowan.
Boy, Rowan was like zeroed right in, like a laser beam. Didn't let him get anywhere.
Well, I'll tell you what Rowan did there, too. He saved them from the fact that I would almost have guessed that they would have not gone for a field goal had they missed that. They would have gone for a fourth down play because they don't have a kicker. So what he just did there is put them in punch situation and did a good job, because I don't think they're going to be going for it here, although I may be wrong.
Well, I'll tell you, the Green Jackets defense has to be extremely pleased. They've only allowed one touchdown here as we get down to the 2-minute mark of the first quarter. Against an all-star team like this, especially on offense, that is an impressive sign. Now, the Green Jackets offense has got to get themselves together.
And they're going for it.
That's amazing to me.
Fourth and, let me see, 20, 25 or so.
Wow, this is unbelievable. I'm looking. He's under pressure. Fuentes gets it off. Incomplete. And that's good, because that was almost in the... that could have been caught, actually.
Yeah, it could have been caught. It was just too high. And then I was worried about the fact that I thought maybe they were going to throw a flag.
Yes.
Which they didn't. But that's one thing. And right now we're seeing a team not behaving like a typical team would if they had a kicker. they can try a field goal, because they most certainly may have tried a field goal there. Romano, I think, is a fairly decent kicker, if I'm not mistaken, and he may have tried a field goal from that situation, but they're definitely at a disadvantage.
So here we go. Green Jackets with the football. We got the officials calling a timeout here as Tommy Mayer comes out to talk to his offense, and I think it's a good thing for him to do. Offense has sputtered. They've had 3 turnovers, and as we review those turnovers, a pitch out that didn't work to Dan McGovern, a pass that was thrown, tipped in the air, and then picked off, and then, of course, you saw what looked like a missed snap from center, but we weren't sure because we weren't down there, and the ball got loose, and it was jumped on by Orange County.
Yeah, it was definitely an exchange problem. We don't know whose fault it was, whether it was Kevin Siska pulling out too soon, or who was centering, not getting it up there, whether it be Wild. I see Wild on the field there, or down on the sideline, number 70. And then it could have been Morris out there, and I'm not sure. I wasn't able to select the number, but, yeah, we saw that too. So Morris is not here tonight. It's Wild, and it has to be Wild in at center. Charles Adams just informed me that Morris is not here tonight. So Jake Wild at center, and he's used to centering, so I don't know. It was just one of those nerve things, maybe Siska pulling out too soon. And we saw another turnover there.
Okay, well, here we go. 1st and 10. Great opportunity for the Jackets. Got a minute and a half left here in the first quarter with a 1-point lead. Whitey Siska back from the shotgun. Handoff looks like Mike Randall. We'll have to see as he gets up off the pile, but it is a loss of at least 2 yards by the Green Jackets.
Well, it's Dan McGovern.
Dan McGovern.
Yeah, with a draw from the shotgun, trying to catch him with something. And so far, every time they've run that tonight, it really hasn't worked for them. But they've got to keep trying, because the Jackets have done very well with running the ball however they want to run it this season. So they've got to get that inside game working. I'm going to get these in now, Bill. I said I would.
Go for it, brother. Go for it.
After this
one, okay. Now, I remember Norman Mann was up here very early in the season when they had a bye, taping our games. So they've been scouting us just like we have been scouting them. Here we go. This is definitely a pass. There's nobody in the backfield. A throw. Is that picked off or trapped? I believe it's picked off. No, he says he was down, and that may be a very good call. It was close, though.
Well, it's close, and the only way you'd be able to tell was with replay, and, of course, we don't have that, but he didn't argue too hard.
No, he didn't.
So perhaps it was trapped. And I'm not quite sure who did what there, if that was a throw on Kevin Siska's part, and it was intended for McGovern out of the backfield. And maybe Dan didn't run the right route or something, but they definitely were not in sync on that play.
Larry Alberts, number 14, comes off. Number 33, Keith Sylvester, goes in. So on this very important 3rd down play for the Green Jackets, 3rd down and a good solid 13. Let's see what they do with it. Keith will stay in the backfield to do the blocking. Siska under center this time. Mixing it up, the Green Jackets are. Siska's got time to get this one off. Dave Young, the intended receiver. Great defense and a flag. That is pass interference. Wow. And it's almost like he had no choice to do that either, because Dave had that. So sometimes you take the risk, too.
Yeah, that was Tariq Waters on the coverage there with the pass interference, and he's arguing his case, as well as I can't make out the other players. Number 9, Kevin Bembry, but they really don't have any ground to stand on. That was definitely pass interference on Gabe. He just hit him way too soon.
Boy, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Southern Division Championship Series. These are the last 2 teams in the Southern Division standing. The winner moves on to play the winner of Lake City, Plattsburgh, at Watertown. Expected to be Watertown, but don't count on Coach Mack up there in Lake City. He has done a phenomenal job and definitely a candidate for Coach of the Year in the Empire Football League. Green Jackets right now with a 1st down as a result of that pass interference play. They're in the 45-yard line of Orange County. And Siska, there we go. And we're looking. He throws, and this time McGovern's got it. He's back across the line of scrimmage and spins down another 3 yards or so. Wow. So I'll tell you, Dan McGovern getting into the flow of this. I was told that we'd see a lot of Dan McGovern early, and we're absolutely right. He's really getting into this game. And that bodes well for the Green Jackets, because Dan chips away a little bit of that rustiness early, and he becomes much more effective as we go on, keeping in mind, of course, that he's also responsible for all the scores. That's true. Very exciting as the clock winds down to the end of the first quarter. We're at 8, 7, 6. See if we can get this play off here. I don't think we're going to do it. By the time we line up, the whistle blows. That's the end of the first quarter. With the score, the Green Jackets 7, Orange County 6. We'll return with second quarter action right after these words. Drennan. 7-6, the Green Jackets lead as we start the second quarter action. Southern Division Championship game, Empire Football League. Whitey Siska under center, Green Jackets back. Siska's looking to pass. He's got Dan Chandler. Chandler's got it. He's across the 10. He's spinning out at the 5-yard line. First and goal to go Green Jackets. Dan Chandler from Whitey Siska.
Well, you know, that's exactly what Dan Chandler does a great job with. If you're one-on-one, Chandler's not a short guy. He goes, let's see what they have him listed at, although I know personally what he really is. I think he's about 6'2", but they've got Dan listed at 6'2", 210, and that's exactly what he is. One-on-one coverage like that, he's great at going up with the defender and getting the ball. That was just a great job over the top on that pass by Siska right into Chandler's hands for that long completion.
Great catch by Chandler. He did everything perfectly on that one. Siska now comes out of the huddle. Let's see what we got in here in the backfield. Got Keith Sylvester. He might get the football in this short yardage situation near the goal line. Yep, Sylvester standing up for a touchdown. And I don't see a flag. Green Jackets 13, Orange County 6. Nicely done.
Yeah, he went in almost untouched there. It was a good job to give that ball to Sylvester. You know he's going to get a few yards. He's going to fall forward, first of all, and there's a yard or two right off the bat. But he shakes arm tackles pretty easily, and he's going to go in the end zone when he's about the 2 or 3 yard line. So great call there, and another touchdown for the Jackets. Good job.
Seems like yesterday that we were at Meacham Field in Syracuse during the Northern Division Championship game, Green Jackets against Syracuse, and that was a real breakout for the Green Jackets. That was a huge game last season, and now we're playing in the Division Championship Series this time in the Southern Division as Bagstad goes in to add the 14th point. 14:04 remaining, second quarter, and we've got guys running around, and probably going to be against Orange County. We'll have to see. I want to thank our friends Punk and Mo for their fine support all year long, taking care of the cost of footballs. League rules state that the Green Jackets must have 2 brand-new league footballs to begin every game. That is a very expensive proposition, and we appreciate his sponsorship. Like you to go over there if you've got any award requests that you need. That's Punk and Mo, Broadway, and the Pro and Mo Sports Shop in Fort Edward. Bagstad this time. Do a 25-yard extra point. Long count. It's down. Picks up. He's good. Very nice. Very nice. 14-6 is the score.
Well, we see those extra points being also important, especially in this game, and going to make a difference, I think. But, you know, that last play, there was a penalty there, and the Green Jackets actually declined it. And people might be asking, well, why would you decline a penalty on the Bulldogs there? It's going to move it closer to the goal line. It's really a kicker's choice or preference. If you go up half the distance, which is another yard and a half, it's really not going to make that much of a difference for the kicker to put it through on an extra point. Unless you're going to opt to go for 2, many times they'll just waive that penalty. They'll just decline it and snap it from the mark that they are, and they kick right from the 10-yard line. It's easier for a kicker. They like to kick from that line if they're used to doing it, and that's what they did. But the Jackets might have. I was surprised maybe that they didn't even think about maybe moving that ball up half the distance and maybe going for 2. That is a very expensive proposition, and we appreciate his sponsorship. Like you to go over there if you've got any award requests that you need. That's Punk and Mo, Broadway, and the Pro and Mo Sports Shop in Fort Edward. Bagstad this time. Do a 25-yard extra point. Long count. It's down. Picks up. He's good. Very nice. Very nice. 14-6 is the score. Well, we see those extra points being also important, especially in this game, and going to make a difference, I think. But, you know, that last play, there was a penalty there, and the Green Jackets actually declined it. And people might be asking, well, why would you decline a penalty on the Bulldogs there? It's going to move it closer to the goal line. It's really a kicker's choice or preference. If you go up half the distance, which is another yard and a half, it's really not going to make that much of a difference for the kicker to put it through on an extra point. Unless you're going to opt to go for 2, many times they'll just waive that penalty. They'll just decline it and snap it from the mark that they are, and they kick right from the 10-yard line. It's easier for a kicker. They like to kick from that line if they're used to doing it, and that's what they did. But the Jackets might have. I was surprised maybe that they didn't even think about maybe moving that ball up half the distance and maybe going for 2.
They're doing well playing the percentages on all the plays, and despite the fact the Green Jackets have had 3 turnovers, they've got to be absolutely thrilled. They're ahead 14-6 in this game in the second quarter, because as time goes on, I think the bench of the Green Jackets and some of the players who haven't played in a few weeks getting tuned up will just wear away at Orange County. But we'll see. Vinny's kick is a nice one. Taken on the fly back at the 6 and 7 yard line. He's across the 10, 15, 20, 25. Brought down at the 27, where it'll be 1st and 10 Bulldogs.
And that's some good coverage there, and right there you're seeing the advantage in the kicking game. They're starting at the 27 as opposed to the Green Jackets starting at about the 45, so gaining 20 yards right there off the bat. No, and getting back to that extra point, now that I look at the score and it's 14-6, kick the extra point now. That puts them up by 8, and they can continue to keep climbing by 1 point. If they match touchdown for touchdown now, the Green Jackets will just keep gaining that extra 1 point advantage because, they can't kick extra points, the Bulldogs can't, and they aren't going to make every 2-point conversion they go for. So
well analyzed. I like that. Very good point. The pressure's on. Here we go. Fuentes, the quarterback. Long count. Look out for Damon Walker. And Damon gets caught on the line this time. Pass almost picked off, ladies and gentlemen. Gamache, it was right there. It almost happened so quick that you were surprised.
Well, it did. I think he was trying to close the gap with the receiver there to cover and was just surprised that ball was so poorly thrown. And actually, we hit him right in the arms before he even had a chance to realize it was coming there. So I know he'd love to have that opportunity again, knowing that ball's coming, because he's going to make that catch and maybe even take it all the way back for 6.
Now, again, we're going to look for Orange County to perhaps make some changes if, by chance, they can't get this thing going. Mike Horton, the veteran quarterback, is here tonight. He is the backup. We've seen him in other contests, and we'll probably see him tonight as well. But they're keeping it up the middle. They've got some great running backs. Down at about the 31-yard line, Gamache on that one as well. Chad having a great season. And he's a player that is making a difference in the flow of the game. And, you can say that about Damon. You can say that about Chad as the season's gone on. Unbelievable difference. Green Jackets defense has to be pleased so far, holding this great team to only 6 points here tonight. Orange County has not been able to figure out the Green Jackets defense yet, but we still have a long game left. Nobody's looking ahead to next week, but it's in the back of everybody's mind, I'm sure. Everybody kind of tries to put it aside. We've got a game here. Fuentes, he's got his man. Yes, he does. That was beautifully thrown. Running in, standing up for a touchdown, and all of a sudden we got a close game again. Unbelievable. 14-12 is the score, and Orange County will be going for 2, and this one could be tied very quickly.
Well, there's Collis Martin right there on that deep pass, and I'll tell you what, there's no other place you could have thrown that ball to complete it than from where Fuentes threw it. First of all, you got a receiver who's 5'8". He had to thread that ball right in over the top of the defenders of the Green Jackets into Martin's arms, who actually did a great job to focus on that ball through traffic there, make that catch, and then take it all the way into the touchdown. That was actually a perfect play there. It was a good job by the Bulldogs.
Okay, well, all of a sudden, momentum was building for the Green Jackets. All it takes is one play. And, of course, if they go in here, as Nick Patterson, number 3, is the lone back in the backfield. See if Fuentes hands off to Nick. Nick's a tough man to break down, but does he have enough speed and power? And yes, he does. Believe it or not, standing up, which is hard to believe. All of a sudden, we've got a tie football game, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go away. This one's going back and forth. 12:30 remaining, 14-14 the score, and we got a lot of football left, partner.
Oh, we certainly do, and it's going to be like that all night. I mean, that's just what we thought was going to happen. Was this game was going to be a lot closer than the first time these two teams met here at East Field. And what we're seeing is a game more indicative of the last time they met down in Monroe, which was neck and neck right to the wire, and that's what's happening so far. And it's just a great game to watch. And if you're watching on TV and you're not actually weren't able to make it here, sponsored by McCann's Pharmacy, your hometown full-service pharmacy on the park in Hudson Falls, free delivery 7 days a week. Quarterback tonight, sponsored by the Post-Star, reaching 100,000 readers every day from the Capital District to the Adirondacks. And the linebacker, sponsored by St. Anne Transportation in Fort Anne, serving you with interstate transportation, coast to coast. 747-7158 is the phone number.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, one team will move on to the championship game in Watertown or Plattsburgh. Another team, regular season will end anyways. Maybe some nationals for either one of these teams, win or lose. But it all comes down to this. Hard to believe when we started back in the end of June with game broadcasts that we'd be here in October. And boy, oh boy, nice kick. Hard to return kick, I should say, at the 30, 35. Looking for room. Second effort gets you across the 40 to about the 41. First and 10, Green Jackets, great field position.
Yeah, once again, great field position. Yeah, you mentioned starting back at the beginning of the season in June, early June, and you know what? I'd like to, I'd like to be able to find out what the weather was like in early June, because I'd be surprised if it wasn't much better than what we're getting here tonight.
Yeah,
which is amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing when you think of the craziness of the weather in the North Country, that it would be this close.
Well, and thinking back to last year, what we had to endure for some of these games later on in the season, particularly nationals, snow, the rain. I mean, I remember standing down underneath there under the press box, and the rain just pouring down. So we're really lucky this season with the weather.
And a little change in formation here as everybody's all set. And nice blocking, keeping it up the middle. Not a big gain. And a lot of people running over a lot of people.
Well, the chameleon has changed its color once again as we see a little bit of a wishbone or a three-back backfield. And you know, they started out in the, the shotgun.
Yes.
And they've been in the I, and they've been in the single-back set, and now they're going into the three-back set. So they're running a little bit of everything, trying to find something that's really going to work. And the main thing is they want to try to get that running game really rolling, which they really haven't done so far tonight.
They haven't. As Andre Wyatt comes off, number 44, Dan McGovern comes in. They're staying in that wishbone, opening it up just a little bit this time. Here we go. Very important series for the Green Jackets. Let's see what they do with it. Again, on the ground and up the middle. No surprise. Good second effort. Look at McGovern go. Gee whiz. He can find a hole. Just when you think he's down, he's still running.
Well, he's built well. He's got a good center of gravity, and he just doesn't go down with arm tackles. And that's exactly what he did there. He got wrapped up a couple times by arm tackles and broke right through them and was able to gain good yardage. But you saw Wyatt come off the field, and I watched him as he came off, and now I'm watching him on the sideline, and he's favoring his left leg, somewhere down around the shin ankle area. So we may not see as much of Andre tonight due to that fact, but geez, you got 3 or 4 other good runners in there right now, as we see 3 of them in the backfield, and they're really trying to get this ground game working.
First and 10 for the Green Jackets at the 47-yard line. Siska, long count. Back, he's going to throw this time. Looking for Chandler, almost picked off. Wow, that should have been picked off, frankly.
Should have been and could have been, but it was a good job by Dan Chandler to think defender and flip his mindset over and actually try to make the tackle there or break that pass up, which is what he did on number 21 there, Marvin Morgan. But yeah, Marvin Morgan could have easily planted himself, stepped in there and taken that ball and had a chance of taking it all the way back for 6 for the Bulldogs. So a big break there for the Green Jackets.
YMCA Fan Appreciation Night. Big sponsor, Boston Scientific. They have a good crowd here tonight, beautiful weather. Football heaven, East Field, home of the Green Jackets and the Golden Eagles of the New York Collegiate Baseball League. Looking forward to seeing them come to town next year. This place is going to be a hopping. Second down and 10 yards to go. Staying in the wishbone. Let's see if it works. Oh, nice one. Oh, Pressure City. Oh, man. Whitey Siska down at the 48-yard line. A big loss. He kind of runs into his blocking man, 44, Dan McGovern. It just didn't work.
Well, it was a broken play. He took the ball out of the snap and went right through his hands, and he was fumbling around with it, just trying to get the handle on it as he was being pursued by the Bulldogs, and then was rolling out to his right trying to make something happen. But we've seen some exchange problems so far tonight, a couple different times, and that one almost resulted in the ball going to the ground once again, but Siska was able to haul it in and try to make something out of it. But, you know, as we saw there, nothing really happening, actually losing ground and bringing up 3rd and very long.
Crowd now extremely quiet. Orange County has done a good job to take the crowd out of the game so far. Ball right now at about the 48.5-yard line. Siska now back in the shotgun. McGovern back there with him. Larry Albert's in motion for the Green Jackets. Definitely going to be a pass, of course. He's looking. Dumps off to McGovern. McGovern cuts up the middle. McGovern going right. McGovern still finds the hole. I don't know how he does it. He's down to the 30-yard line, first down. Unbelievable. He hops over people.
Yeah, it was a great job there. A great play call there, actually bringing Alberts across the line to the right side and basically leaving only one receiver out to the left, which was Chandler, and then taking McGovern out of the backfield and flaring him out to the left there for the screen power, the quick dump to the receiver, and let McGovern do what McGovern can do best, which is get yards for you, and he did. Of course, we saw that earlier when they isolated Chandler out here to the bottom of the screen or to the near sidelines towards us, and that's when he went for that long pass play. So they like to isolate that person out there on the left side or on the right side, either side, and make big plays happen.
Whitey Siska in the shotgun. Sakima Grimes has joined him in the backfield. Whitey with the ball. He's looking. He's going to throw on the run. Oh, boy, that one was low. Intended receiver, couple different people. Bottom line, incomplete and low. This is not a pretty half for the Green Jackets, but it's 14-14 nonetheless. So everybody should be happy with that. Orange County still trying to find its legs on offense. They've shown some brilliance, but not the killer instinct yet.
Well, a big play, Carlos Martin for that long touchdown, and the Jackets have had a few big plays. The long screen or short dump to McGovern that went for the touchdown, and then the long pass to Chandler that set up the other touchdown. But offensively, the Jackets are just kind of sputtering still. They really aren't in their full swing like we've seen them in past games.
Oh, here we go. Siska. Again, back there with McGovern. We got 4 guys going out for a pass, though. Long, very long count from the shotgun. Siska looking. He's throwing. He's looking for Gabe Young. Picked off in the end zone. He'll down it back there. And another turnover for the Green Jackets. They're 4th so far in the first half. And the Green Jackets, with 4 turnovers, have to be very pleased that they're in a tie situation right now.
Oh, they're very lucky to be in this situation right now. As we saw Siska right there just greatly overthrow Young, who actually was there and open. And I have to wonder if Siska's having a problem out here on this wet field, or the muddy field, when he goes to plant, if his back leg is sliding out. I'll have to pay attention to that the next time I see him drop back to pass. But he's looking a little bit out of sync, too, with his throws. He's been throwing short, and in that case right there, he threw long. So he's got to get his game put together because he's got to get that exchange down, too, be it it's the center's fault or whoever. And they've got to get this offense rolling because I can guarantee you the Orange County team is going to have their offense moving here, and Jackson's just going to have to match them.
I was looking to see if they might make a change at quarterback. They have not. Fuentes is in, and they probably shouldn't, 14-14. Fuentes back. He's looking for a man. He's got the time to throw this football. Almost slips, though. Carlos Martin completes 35-yard line. Wow. Man, oh, man.
Yeah, he had to run around there and find some time, and he was actually able to do that. But you saw him slip a little bit, too. So, like I said, that the footing is a little bit, it's deceiving because we didn't have any rain. It's been a wonderful day out here, but it is a little soft. I think we put sprinklers on the field, but then there's also heavy air, and the dew's starting to settle in on the field now, too. So as the game goes along, it will just get wetter. But, and I think maybe none of the players were expecting these kind of conditions, having not seen the field maybe prior to the game, and maybe not bringing a change of shoes.
Good point. Very good point. Fuentes, back, handoff, up the middle, going nowhere. Snuffed by the entire front of the Green Jackets defense. 7-17 if you're just tuning in. 14-14 in the Southern Division Championship game of the Empire Football League. Joe Callahan along with Chris Drennan bringing you this action, and we'll be on the road next week no matter who the winner is to do the championship game. And what do we got here? We've got Whitey taking snaps there.
Yeah. Well, we mentioned earlier about the exchange situation. Well, I see Siska down here with Wild, and they're trying to get it straightened out as he works on shotgun snaps, but they obviously know that there's something going on there, too, that's not normal for them. So they're trying to right it right now before they get back out there on offense, which is a good idea.
Good move. Good constructive time when you're not on the field. Don't think about the mistakes. Think about some solutions, and that's what they're working on right now. As we have a timeout, hydration managers for both teams out there working with the team. It is a rather comfortable night. It's a humid night. There's been a lot of fog in the North Country this week, and a lot of humidity. But it's unseasonably warm. It has been Indian summer. As you're seeing this tape in another venue or perhaps in another year, this becomes part of Green Jackets history. But the Green Jackets, with a super year, 10-1 overall, 8-0 in league play, going for some records, some things that they would like to achieve this year is to hang in and win this game, move on to the championship game in Watertown and win that, and move on to the Nationals, hopefully getting a crack at Plattsburgh during the Nationals to win the Mayor's Trophy again. And so these are all before us, but the Green Jackets have their work cut out for them tonight. 4 turnovers against an Orange County team. You don't want to do that. Any other situation, if you had 4 turnovers against Orange County, it'd be 28-0 against you. So let's see what they can do right now with 6:51 remaining in the second quarter. Fuentes. Did a good job at quarterback. Damon, Walker, and again, we have flags on the play. I suspect it's going to be against the Green Jackets. They've got Damon in a role where he's to run in and try to anticipate the timing just a little bit. Sometimes you're going to make a mistake, right?
Well, yeah, and the whole line, actually, he brought everybody. He got them all antsy there. But, yeah, the play continued, so you know it's against the Jackets, and it was a free play for the Bulldogs. And didn't go for a heck of a lot of yards, so they're probably going to take the penalty, I think. But, yeah, Damon gets up in there and tries to time it, and unfortunately, in some cases, he's just a little bit too early, and that was one of the cases where he was too early and actually made some contact, or actually just jumped over the line, didn't make contact. Had he made contact, they would have called a dead ball penalty, but that happened. But they've done such a great job this season with those blitzes and just wreaked utter havoc on the opposing offenses. And they're going to continue to try to do that tonight because it's worked so well for them in the past. And they were walking it off here. They're calling a face mask.
Actually. A face mask. Wow. And have they called 2 penalties? I'm trying to anticipate it. Wow.
Well, there's two types of face masks, and I think maybe they called a flagrant one.
Ooh, this is a major.
Moved it up 15 yards.
Yeah, that's huge right now for Orange County. We take a look at the clock, 6:37 remaining second quarter. We got a tie game. That's a tremendous advantage as that puts the ball in Green Jackets territory. 1st and 10, Orange County. Fuentes going to pitch it out. He hesitates. He who hesitates is lost. Certainly was in that one. Brought down well behind the line of scrimmage. Number 30.
Kenny Hackett did a good job to bring Ray Morales down, right? And he hesitated on that pitch, but we've seen a big penalty there, and we've seen penalties work for both teams. So it's been a game of penalties that have been big factors. That one being one. Green Jackets on a pass interference penalty, gaining the first down earlier on that actually took them down to the touchdown, I believe, and turnovers. So not what you'd expect to see in a championship game.
No.
But I think both teams are still a little bit nervous.
Yeah, I think they are. Great game being called by Ron Witherspoon and his crew, veteran crew and the Empire Football League officials. Mike Cronin and his crew, well, they're in Watertown doing the Watertown-Plattsburgh game. Here we go. Fuentes is back. He's got protection. He gets it off just before he gets nailed. That one almost picked off. Great defense nonetheless. Number 3.
Well, Hackett was all over Fuentes there as he about knocked his hat off, and he did knock his hat off as Fuentes let it go. And I'll tell you what, the receiver, and I didn't make out his number, but was that Garcia again?
Yeah, I think it was Garcia.
Garcia had a step, and if it weren't for Gabe Young coming in there and helping out and actually climbing the ladder and getting a hand on that ball would have gone for another touchdown. So good job by Gabe there, and Kenny was just, Hackett was just a step too late and actually taking that ball right off of Fuentes' hand, and good job of defense.
And credit Gabe Young. Credit Young for going both ways most of this season for the Green Jackets, and it's really made a difference for him. Really coming on strong on defense. Of course, he's already been established for many years as a great wide receiver. Here we go. Big play, 3rd down right now. Ball positioned at the 47-yard line. The Bulldogs have it with 5.5 minutes remaining, second quarter, and a tie score. And he is under pressure, almost brought down by Fortman, almost brought down. He pitches it off. He's got his man still on his feet, and he's finally brought down. Boy, I'll tell you, got to give them credit. Ray Morales.
I liked a lot of things on that play. They brought Damon up in there for the blitz, fake the blitz. And then he bounced out at the last second. And then Sportman, I think Rowan were coming up on the blitz. And then you got to credit Fuentes there.
Yeah.
All out Brett Favre there.
Yeah.
Falling forward, going for a first down. But it was just a great play to watch.
Fortunately for the Green Jackets, it's 4th and 12. Looks like we're going to have a punt for the first time. Yes, we are. McGovern's the lone guy back to get it. Ooh, that's a nice punt. Why didn't they do that before? And McGovern calling fair catch as the ball goes, down to about the 4. Ooh, now again, that's where you pointed out before.
Yeah.
If this had been a regular dry field, that probably would have bounced into the end zone and would have been taken back to the 20.
Right.
But it was like hitting a catcher's mitt.
Right. Well, McGovern did exactly what he's supposed to do, which is call the fair catch, try to throw the defenders off or the coverage men off, and let the ball go in the end zone. But that was a perfect punt as far as the spiral goes, and it turned over and nosed down right into the ground and stuck like a dart right there on the 3-yard line. And with that soft field, it just sticks like that and puts the Jackets in a deep hole. But that was just an outstanding punt there by Nixon.
Well, 4:20 remaining. Green Jackets have the football, but they're deep. And they have to worry, especially with this footing. They don't want to get caught for a safety. This game is too close. We're tied at 14 apiece. They have to be a little bit conservative here. very deliberate. Make sure they move the ball a good 5 or 6 yards before they open up the offense a little bit. Let's see what Whitey Siska does. Yep, quick handoff, up the middle, trying to gain a couple of yards. That's about all. Very quiet crowd. Very good attendance, but very quiet right now. This one's too close for comfort.
Yeah, the Jackets would dearly like to get at least the first down right here, and I think they don't want to do anything that's too risky as far as risk of turnover here. So I would think that the passes are going to be kept short. They can ill afford to have a turnover here deep in their own end, but they need to at least get a first down here, and particularly with three and a half, a little over less than 4 minutes on the clock. They've got to at least possess this ball a little bit longer and keep the ball out of the offensive hands of the Bulldogs.
Shaquem Grimes comes off. Number 44, Dan McGovern goes in. So here we go. Just second down and about 9 yards to go for the Jackets. Back, keeping it on the ground, looking for room. Not getting too far. It's going to be a quick third down and about 6 or 7. Probably closer to 7. Not much of a gain at all. We do have an Orange County player down. And that's going to be an official's timeout as they take a peek at him.
That's a name we called a lot this evening. He's been a big, actually he had an interception earlier, and that's Tim Ball for the Bulldogs, so they can't afford to lose him. He's a key player for their defensive unit.
Orange County being coached by Hall of Fame coach Norman Mann. Norman Mann going to be inducted to the AFA Hall of Fame in December down in Sarasota, Florida. And he's going to be joined by his assistant coach, which is Mark Arcure. Mark Arcure, of course, the former head coach of the Scranton Eagles. Mark Arcure goes into the AFA Hall of Fame this December in Sarasota because he was a tremendous defensive back. He has more interceptions than any man in the history of minor league football.
Now, what relation is he to Arcure for the Eagles? Is that his brother?
He is the uncle. He is the uncle.
Of the quarterback?
Of the quarterback,
right,
yes.
Okay.
And he, unfortunately, and we send our thoughts, and we've told him this already, but his mom, Mark's mom, passed away this week, and we just send our thoughts to him. It has to have been a very, very hard week for him. Here we go. Siska from the shotgun. Now that they have a little bit of room, they're going to take a risk. He's throwing on the run. Dave Young, did he catch it? Yes, he did.
Well, we're going to see if it's going to count here because we have a flag in the area of a hold, so, and it looks like, well, an indication from one of the Bulldogs players that indeed might be the call, and they're going to back the Jackets up. So once again, if it is the case, a penalty is very critical here in another drive for the Jackets.
Not pretty. Not a pretty half. Again, Green Jackets have to be pleased if it's 14-14. But there's been a few real game highlight type of plays, but overall play has not been consistent so far. Little change here is looks like Keith Sylvester comes out. McGovern comes in. McGovern's seeing a lot of time here in the first half. And, of course, McGovern's the first one to tell you, look, I'm here to help the team. You don't feel you have to play me a lot because I'm in New York and I can't practice with the team often. He is a great team player. Taking a look at the sidelines, as we have so many Green Jackets from the 1969 and 1976 championship games here, including Jim Baker, commissioner of the New York Amateur Football League. He was a great, great player for the Green Jackets team in 1969. Went on to play for Albany and has been a head coach in this league, one of the best X's and O's guy in the Empire Football League history. He is here tonight. Good to see Jimmy and his wife. A lot of other great players. As we work this one out, Coach Mann talking with the head official, Mr. Witherspoon. They're having a discussion.
And I'm not totally sure what he could be questioning. I mean, if it were a hold on the Jacket, that seems pretty cut and dry to me, so I'm not quite sure what his...
Especially when the Jackets are 3rd and 13 and deep in their own, this is not a stellar play, but he just wants to make sure everything's right. One thing about Norman Mann, he does not get too excited very often. He keeps an even keel. Very quiet, soft-spoken. Norman's high point as a player came with the...
I have to wonder that... No, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No.
I'm having to wonder if his questioning here with the referees not only has... maybe doesn't even have something to do that much with the penalty itself. Maybe there's something to do with the personnel out on the field. I don't know. Is there a...
I don't know why that would be a problem either.
I don't know.
And I'm picking off the players here just to make sure that there's nothing out of the ordinary. All the officials have come over, all except for one, to have this discussion. Looks like it's actually getting in detail here now. I don't know what the story is. This has to be big, at least in Coach Mann's mind. there's something there that he needs an explanation of. Okay, they all agree. There we go. Well, folks, let's set you up if you're just tuning in. 2:29 remaining in the half. 14-14 the score. Green Jackets against Orange County. Southern Division Championship game. Green Jackets with the ball. Third down at about 12 yards. We're at Eastfield football heaven on a warm but humid night. His joints are creaking. Here we go. On the ground. Nope. Nice handoff there by Siska. He faked me out. He passes to Gabe Young in the air. Caught by Dan Chandler. Dan Chandler is turning it on. Chandler is all alone, standing up in the end zone. Pass to Gabe Young goes way up in the air. Chandler also on the left side. Looks up, brings it down, runs it in. Touchdown, Green Jackets. Absolutely unbelievable.
Well, yeah. Sometimes it's just good to be lucky. That's all I can say, because Siska looked at Chandler, didn't see him there, then went to Young, and Gabe went up for that ball. It hit him square on the top of his coconut.
Wow.
Went straight up in the air to Chandler. It was almost like,
And I mean, that ball went in the air.
I'll tell you what, if you tried to just put those two guys out there and said, do that again, with no defenders on, they could never manufacture that one again.
They could work all night.
It just happened to catch Chandler right in stride for the touchdown, and that's unfortunate for the Bulldogs. But like I said, hey, it's good to be lucky, and well, the Jackets are wearing green, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah,
that's a lucky color, but whatever the case, that's a great play, and that's one for the highlight reel. If you have a
that's one of the best plays I've ever seen.
It's one for the highlight reel, because it's can you believe this happened type of things, and one of those sports shows that they show that on. But that was just a great touchdown.
Bags in to try to do the extra point here, make it 21-14, 1:59 remaining in the half. Boy, I'll tell you, it's been interesting. Here we go. Picked up. Pretty. Nice job. So, Dan Chandler catching the high pop, in for a touchdown. He's got 2 of the 3 touchdowns for the Jackets, and oh, you're absolutely right. It's like the immaculate reception of Pittsburgh Steelers. That was huge.
I wasn't going to insert any other corny, like Gabe using his head or anything like that there, because I just didn't feel like I wanted to do that, so I won't. But we could go on and on. But that was just right off. I guarantee you, Gabe's ears are ringing right now. When that football came right down on top of your helmet, you can definitely make your ears ring. But look what Chandler found. Look what I found, and here I go, and there he goes for a touchdown. So that has to really upset the Bulldogs. They have to be beside themselves, because they covered that ball really well. It's just one of those plays in sports where there's luck involved, and went the Green Jackets' way.
Well, I'll tell you, if this was hockey, Gabe Young would get 1 point for the assist. It's not. Wow.
It looks more like soccer.
Yeah, it really did. It really did. Nice header. It really worked. And, the Cosmos against, I don't know, North American Soccer League action. Unbelievable. You're absolutely right. If you put them out there and said, we're going to keep running until we get this play, we'd be here for weeks.
Oh, they'd be there forever. It's just one of those. I'll tell you what, though, it got the crowd excited. They're all, I can hear the buzz right now. They loved it. So
Vinny's kick, a good one, taken way off on the left at the 15, cutting across to the 30-yard line. Good motoring here. 35, 41, brought down by Mo James, number 7. Good field position for Orange County. They got 147 to try to do something with it.
Well, that was a great job of running there, actually. But Jackets just a little over-anxious there and over-pursued and got sucked in and let the return man there turn the corner around the right side for, I know, longer yardage than they wanted to allow, particularly with 1 minute and 47 seconds left. We wanted to pin him back in there, but they've got 2 timeouts left that the Bulldogs do, and it'll be interesting to see if they can make something happen here with the 1:45 on the clock.
That was absolutely huge in a game that's probably going to take 4 or 5 more twists and turns before it's all over. Green Jackets took big advantage of a lot of luck there, and it really worked for them. Right now, Orange County's got the football at their own 44-yard line. 1st and 10, 1:47 remaining, and the defense of the Green Jackets going to have to stop them now. Let's see what happens. Fuentes remains in at quarterback. Handoff up the middle. Gain across midfield. Gain of almost about 5 yards.
Well, the Bulldogs are going to have to hurry up here, and it looks like they're going to huddle anyways, but they can't let that play clock run all the way down as the clock continues to tick. They're going to have to hurry and get to that line and run the next play if they continue to run the ball on the ground. 1 minute and 20-something seconds left as it goes down. There's not a lot of time if you're going to keep it on the ground.
No, not a running offense like they have here. That's kind of surprising. So Morales for the first run, decent game. Second down and about 4. They gave him credit for 6. Let's see what they do this time. Count. Morales, quick pass, got his man, complete, first down and more. He's down at about the 38-yard line. Clock continues to run, though, as we say, partner.
Yeah, now it's important for the Jackets to get set, too, and not get caught offside for a cheap penalty also.
This is not real sharp clock management, though, by the Bulldogs. They're cutting down their options here by taking their time, and let's see what happens. Crowd comes to life with a defense chat. Fuente's back. He's trying to look for a man. Good coverage by the Jackets. He gets his man brought down by Sportman at about the 25-yard line. And that stopped the clock with 31. Actually,
no, the clock's
running. That's right, too.
He didn't get out of bounds.
Ooh.
That was Mitchie, and he looked upfield too much instead of just looking right for the sidelines, and I believe they're going to have to burn a timeout here.
Well, they should. I can't believe they've burned so much time already. They've burned a minute and almost 20 seconds here. And despite the fact they're doing a good job on some of these plays, they're not doing a good job with the clock management.
They did burn a timeout, but the clock continues to tick. It should be about at least 21 seconds on the clock, maybe 24, so they'll get that straightened out. I can't imagine that they'll leave it as it is.
I'm surprised Coach Mann isn't over here saying, hey, it should be 20-something seconds. Perhaps he hasn't looked at the clock.
I think the referees are coming here to ask the clock operator to reset the clock to it.
Witherspoon is coming over.
But really, Mitchie should have gotten out of bounds there and saved that timeout, and he just didn't have a sense of urgency to get to the sidelines there.
Witherspoon saying 2-6. So 26 seconds should be on the clock right now. See if they're going to make that change or not. But anyways, it gives us a good idea as to what's really on the clock.
Now, I think that they have one more timeout. I'm not sure, but I thought they used one earlier, and then that was their second one. I may be mistaken.
I think you're right. They're not changing the clock. They can't change the clock.
Okay.
We just got official word. But there is 26 seconds on it. So the official clock will be kept on the field. But right now, Orange County has an opportunity. They've allowed a lot of time to go off this clock.
Now this is a situation where you miss a kicker dearly, because now they can only think end zone and touchdown here.
Yes.
Where even 3 points right now is going to be a big factor in the game, I believe, because it's going to be that way all the way through the second half. It's going to be that close. But they've got to think end zone now, and they've only got 26 seconds here to go 25 yards. So they've got the work cut out for them.
And sometimes these long delays after a timeout hurt the team on offense because they're trying to keep momentum going and their blood going. And he wanted to make sure the official that both sides realized that there's really 26 seconds on the clock, but the clock on the scoreboard cannot be changed. Here we go. Fuentes back. This is a huge play for Orange County. Clock continues to run. He throws. One man picks off. Drops. Oh, good defense nonetheless, but dropped on the...
Well, we'll see if that makes a difference here before the half, but I know Damon Walker really wanted that ball.
Yes.
I know that's one where he'll tell you 99 times out of 100 he'll make that catch, and it just went through his hands. I think he was thinking about what am I going to do with this after I catch it, and was unable to make that catch. But now we see the clock moving, and it says there's 13 seconds on the clock. So,
and that's about right, because that was a long play. That was a long setup. He was looking for his receiver. He was throwing it. So I would have to say that that's pretty close to on the money. We got time for 2, maybe 3 plays. Let's see what happens. Fuentes under pressure now on clock management. They really can't let this opportunity go by them. This game is too close.
you need to go to the sidelines here with something.
Here we go. He's back. Of course they're throwing. He's looking. He throws again to the end zone. Picked off by Gabe Young. Gabe's running. Gabe's still motoring. He's still on his feet across the 25. The 30, he jumps up in the air, brought down out of bounds. We hope he's okay.
Yeah,
Gee whiz. And the clock runs out on the scoreboard clock, and I believe it stops on the field. That was huge, and the Green Jackets go in with a 7-point lead, 21-14, and this is exactly, listen to that crowd, ladies and gentlemen, the Green Jackets, 21-14, the Southern Division Championship from Eastfield. Football having Bill Callahan along with Chris Drennan. We'll be back with third quarter action and halftime activities. Don't forget. Stay with us. Thank you. YMCA here to get this tug of war underway.
Okay, we have the championship gliders gymnastics team, and we have the championship gators swim team. Both teams have done exceptionally well in their respective sports. Tonight they're pairing off. We're going to have the best of three tug of war. For the first tug, the team that pulls the flag to the 45-yard line will be the winner. On your mark, get set, tug. Ooh.
This is great. Woo! No, sure. No, do best out of three. Go ahead. Let's do it again. Okay, let's bring this to the middle. Thanks, George. George Fordrun kind of monitoring things right here in the middle. Chuck Mays gets ready to get the second one underway.
Okay, we would like to have coaches of both teams pulling. Coach Ogden. On your mark, get set, tug.
Quick third round, George. We're going to be doing a quick third round right now. It's 1-1. It all comes down to this. What do you think, huh? One more. A little bit more. Here we go.
Okay, this is the third round and the championship round for the Gators and Gliders YMCA Team Tug of War Championship. On your mark, get set, tug.
Boy, this is a tough battle. The gymnastics are pulling ahead. Gymnastics are going to pull it ahead. Gymnastics, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big round of applause for both teams and for Chuck Mays at the YMCA. And as Coach Tom Mayer said to me as I come out, that's on page 63 of the playbook, that off the helmet one, line 4. I said, okay, thanks, Coach. There we go. Big kick there by Vinny. Taken at the 5, across the 10, 15, 20. Looking for room, 25. Still doing pretty well at the 26. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just to let you know, hey, I tell you, that was some first half, but with the Green Jackets scoring like that, definitely coming in with the momentum. The Green Jackets defense is definitely going to be under pressure right now to hold Orange County away from a score. The first 5 minutes of the third quarter, key to the outcome of the football game, and we are here right now. 14:33, clock continues to run here, and here we go. No change in the quarterback position. Fuentes is still in. Hand off. And he gets practically nowhere. Looks like Morales, number 30. Orange County versus Glens Falls, the Green Jackets. Great halftime where we were able to introduce so many great members of the 1969 and 1976 championship game. And Chris, you and I were talking a couple of weeks ago in Scranton about some of the best teams in Green Jackets history. A lot of those guys that we were talking to there represented a lot of the best. When you talk with Terry Gordon, I mentioned him as probably the best quarterback in Green Jackets history, at least tied for it. John Martin's out there, one of the great linemen in Green Jackets history. It was just very interesting. I had a chance to meet some of those guys for the first time as well. Fuentes is back. Fuentes looking, passing. He's got Martin. Martin looking for room. Martin does a good job picking up another 4 yards on his kind of shaking around. There we go. See, I'm a broadcaster, a radio man, ladies and gentlemen. And without headphones on, and Sandra just took care of the headphones. Without headphones on, I'm like a lost little lamb, or big lamb, fat sheep, whatever. There we go. Oh, I feel like I'm at home now. Boy, that was fun halftime out there.
Yeah, that was quite a halftime. It was to see the players of past days, and then also the tug of war with the kids was great to see too. So it was just a great halftime.
And Chuck Mays at the Y has done a phenomenal job. They're going through an expansion once again, another room coming in for exercise bikes and so forth. And again, I encourage you folks, take a look into a Y membership as, wow, geez, he really did a good job. I thought he was going to be brought down well before that. Of course, that's number 30, Ray Morales. And Ray's been doing a lot of the running for Orange County tonight. One of the things that got me very early on, I looked into a Y membership, and I went in, and, well, Bill, your age bracket would be about $200 and something, whatever it was, in Hartford, Connecticut. Well, the thing that they've introduced in recent years, and a lot of people may not know, is you can have this monthly debiting that I talked about at halftime. And I think it's very important because what happens, it becomes like a $20 a month, $25 a month decision. And for your health, and for your well-being, and for your family, it is certainly worth it.
You hit it right in the head. In fact, well, we'll let this play go by.
Here we go. Biggie. Keeping it on the ground. He runs into a wall. Tries to find room. Ball is loose. Green Jackets pick it up. If this holds, this will be big. Green Jackets defense delivers.
Yeah, they were just overwhelmed by a wave of Green Jackets there and just hammered. And he's still down on the field, and I believe that's 29. That's Raheem Ridley, I think. And
oh, boy.
Not only is he hurt a little bit, which we'll wait and see, but I know he's just disappointed that he lost that ball and coughed it up. But they're going to tend to him because he's down a little bit longer than just something minor. But while we pause, I don't want to make light of his injury right now, but getting back to when you mentioned the Y, my kids belong to the Y down in Clifton Park, and I had a membership there too. And you have this memory or thought of what the YMCA is, and when I discovered it once again for the second time, I guess, after years and years, it was unbelievable. It's like a state-of-the-art health facility. At least
sure.
Clifton Park is, and I know people that belong to one in Saratoga. And really, you're right. Look into the Ys, because not only is membership a lot more reasonable than it is at other health facilities, but a lot of cases they have just better equipment and more for the whole family to do there.
Exactly.
It's a great environment, a family environment, which is nice.
Family environment really works. Whitey Siska out of the shotgun back under center, and we're back in the bone here. Let's see what happens. Flag down very quickly. Runs basically to the line of scrimmage and gets no farther. Number 22, Fatima Grimes. Ooh, offsides, Orange County, nice. Good for the Green Jackets. Orange County really has to establish themselves now early in the third quarter, or this one might get away from them, although I'm very reluctant to say that with Orange County.
Right, but they can't afford to let the score get out from under them any more than it is right now. They're only down a touchdown. They don't want to go down 2 touchdowns. It's a harder hill to climb. especially in the second half. So they can't let that happen. And turnovers once again. We had 4 from the Jackets in the first half. I think it was 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And now I think it's 4 for the Bulldogs.
Yes.
So it's even up on that. But the turnovers and penalties have been huge tonight.
Here we go. Going to tell you one more story about that off-the-helmet pass that I think you'll enjoy. Here we go. Siska. Long count under center. And he's keeping it to McGovern. McGovern, I don't know how he gets through the traffic he does. It's unbelievable. It's like everybody's surprised.
Well, I can tell you one way he does it because he's got incredible acceleration, and he blasts through that hole. There's no indecisiveness on McGovern's part, and he gets that hand off, and he knows where he's supposed to go with it. Boom, he shoots through it like a rocket before the defense even has a chance to figure out, hey, what's coming at me. And by that time, he's already into the linebackers and heading towards the secondary. So that's what McGovern does, is he just blasts. He's got quick acceleration and gets right through that hole quickly.
Ball right now on the 31-yard line. Green Jackets are moving the football. 10:49 remaining, 21-14, Southern Division Championship game, Empire Football League action on a Saturday night, Football Heaven East Field. Kevin Whitey, Siska.